Hello and welcome to the discussion on listening across the curriculum, developing strategies. Dear participants of language across the curriculum course, let us take a look at how people listen and how people listen across the subjects and across the areas in real life also, it not necessarily the very academic purposes, and how we can enable the learners in the classroom to develop strategies, skills, capabilities to listen meaningfully, listen with understanding. Look at it, why and what we listen to at all. If you look at, if you observe very well, we listen to our siblings, parents, neighbors, teachers and everyone. That also means that we also speak to them as they listen. We also listen to some instructions, we are not replying, responding to it. Suppose if you go to a railway station or an airport, so you listen to some instructions, your train will come after this many minutes and you will have to go to this platform and all. We also listen to teachers' instructions and we will understand if you have any other clarification, we do that. So, we listen to instructions, information, ideas. In all this what we do, we decode information, ideas and so on, and some we respond to, some we do not. Now, there are many ways one listens to. We said in the beginning, some of them we respond, some of them we do not. So, passive marginal listening. So, we listen to the news, whichever news interests us, we will listen to it very carefully, otherwise we just like that. So, kind of scanning through, and but we listen to some other things very attentively. Supposing you are standing in you are waiting for a train in a platform, all of a sudden the platform changes, and when the announcement comes the second time, you listen to it very attentively and rush to the other platform. Then sometimes we also listen to respond to something. So, here are the questions for you, you will have to answer it in 2 minutes or 1 minute, the teacher says, or some television program, and you listen to it and respond to it through your mobile. And another thing, when a lecture is given or a talk is given or a phenomena is described, so you are waiting for some specific information so that you can note down and use it. That is one. Appreciative listening, someone tells you something you want to really appreciate, well done, it is fine kind of thing. Then look at it, we also listen to creative ideas, like creative aspects. So, songs, we listen to plays, drama being enacted, the dialogue and the action goes together, and it makes you really understand. Analytical and critical listening. A phenomena is said, you must have noticed in parliament and state assemblies, the minister presents the budget, or the prime minister speaks, or the chief minister speaks, or president of India speaks, people have to listen, and when the question time comes, they critically question it. And we also listen to our great speakers or the classroom teacher, and having listened to it, we will have 100 things to ask and critically examining. And sometimes we just listen to the gist of it. Okay, come on, let me listen to the summary of it. Then sometimes we listen to all details. The listening happens that way. So, many such ways. Then look at it. We have been discussing the schema theory. Schema theory is connecting things, manipulating to make meaning out of something, or creating a kind of images in our brain by connecting things. This is what schema theory is. How that can happen? It can happen through brainstorming, you yourself do or the teacher does, mind mapping, that interconnected thing. Suppose let me tell you the kind of say vocabulary learning, the word is water, is it? Then we give them some 10-15 other words, how they can collocate and mind map or connect the words which can go with that. So, mind mapping, suppose very primary classes, early classes, okay, come on, let us list the all the items of this classroom or the house. The children can create, okay, kitchen, what are the words, drawing room, what are the words, then wall, what are the words. So, a kind of mind mapping. Supposing if I am writing an essay on, let us say, environmental disaster or pollution, I will put environment, what is it, why, so I will keep on adding it. So, this is mind mapping, all of us know, and this schema can be enriched and supported through discussions, through questions at children in groups, let them come out with ideas. It can be by playing games, and sometimes we can ask guide questions. Okay, having read this, this is what, why did the character do this way? What do you think the development in the story? Why does the poet use particular kind of language? So, we can, that also activates schema so that they can listen to it better. Then there is a something listened and that is presented in diagrammatic form. Then as they speak, as they listen, as they even read, then stop a while and ask, oh, how the story would move, what will happen in scientific experiments. If a particular vaccine is being developed for a particular virus, very dangerous virus, then they say that efficacy is 60%, efficacy is 90%. They are predicting, and it may be also true that 50% of the world are vaccinated, the virus may not be able to infect anymore. So, these are all predictions, we call it heuristics. You watch a movie and during the interval, oh, the hero might do this and the villain might have, and we also judge on the directors and the producers, oh, he should have turned it in different manner, why he brought unnecessary this turn in the story. And look at it, we also listen carefully by eliminating unwanted things. We know this is not read. It is like, no, that creates a schema. That is what when we say, when we look at the keywords, then look at that when we skim through, we skim through some of the ideas, not necessarily everything we read. So, these are some of the strategies for activating schema in the learner, which enables them to read, listen, and of course, here we are concentrating on listening. Look at it. Before we move on to understand other things, fluency and accuracy are very important things when we understand. What is fluency? When I speak now, I am not speaking everything accurately. I am speaking based on the ideas I have understood and I have created the so called script, then but still I am speaking spontaneously. So, I am making meaning, my purpose here is to making meaning of whatever I am saying, and you should be able to understand, and oh, he is saying, he is making some sense. So, that is fluency. Acquiring the pattern of listening, like paying attention to the keywords, means I am not bothered about each and every word spoken, I am the keywords, and sometimes non-linguistic clues. I am moving my hands as gestures in order to capture your attention, and that is what physical movement. Sometimes I will say, oh, I will say that, ouch, those kind of expressions, non-linguistic expressions and in visual signs. These are all help in arriving at the meaning, not having to listen to every words word by word. Look at it. What is accuracy? Accuracy is, of course, flawless, concentrating on each piece of information, decoding it in order to arrive at, noticing word boundaries and an understanding of prefixes and suffixes, and decoding it. It is decoding ability to understand everything is said. So, I am not saying that both are required for a good listener, but at the same time we need to get the fluency better. Accuracy will naturally enable the learners to all of us to listen carefully. Look at it. What are the strategies I can use in a listening classroom? I am taking one example, participants, that is dictation, which we used to have in the good old days. The teacher gives some 10-15 words the day before, the next day he asks us, he dictates and we write. That is not actually dictation, that is only to learn the spelling. Let us look at it. Here are some of the dictation strategies for listening. Okay. First one, teacher divides the class into pairs and gives a story. first learner in the pair has odd sentences of the story, the second learner in the pair has the even sentences. There are, let us say, 20 sentences, sentence 1, 3, 5, 7 like that with the first learner, the second learner has 2, 4, 6, 8 like that. Then the first learner reads out the first sentence and the second learner writes, and the second learner reads the second sentence and the first learner writes. Likewise, they complete the whole class in pairs. So, what is happening there? Reading happens, listening, writing, and above all meaning making happens. This is we call it mutual dictation, and very interesting. We found with adults also it's working. We can engage the learners with language. Look at it. Another next one, group dictation. How it helps? Teacher divides her class into groups of 4 or 5, and a text of 3 to 4 paragraphs or 4 or 5 paragraphs given. Let's say example, take the social science or science lesson or any lesson taken up or language. Learners take turns to read one paragraph each, and the other learners make use of it. Suppose there are 4, one child reads, one learner reads, other 4 noting, like that 5 paragraphs read. Now, the learners come together. When all learners complete the reading, they work together to create the text nearer to it, not exact the text. Then you compare it, how far you have listened to it. It can be done twice. So, this is another strategy. Look at it. Paragraph dictation, more or less like the previous one, but slightly different. Teacher reads out a text of 5 to 6 sentences or even 10 sentences, higher classes, ideally 5 sentences. Learners listen to the text. Having listened to the text, the learners work together in groups of 4 to create the text read out by the teacher, and not necessarily the exact text, but nearer to the meaning of it. Look at it, what happens? They listen to it, discuss, then write. Look at it. I am going to ask you, we will do one such activity after some time. Now, look at it, think aloud protocol task. Dear participants, between these two pictures there are 10 differences. I am going to give you maximum 2 minutes. Try to notice it, and as you notice it, please speak complete sentences and listen to it yourself. How it can be done? Suppose this cow has this mark in the first picture, whereas the cow does not have. Speak complete sentences. Come on, I am giving you 2 minutes. Fine learners, look at it. This picture shows the differences. The cow at the center in this first picture does not have the mark in her thigh. In the second picture, means like that you can say that this is being marked. Use it, but it has to be said in language, any language. Look at it. So, how listening happens? Look at it. Listening is an essential ability like speaking, and but writing starts later. Listening and speaking happens simultaneously. Interactive listening, we know that when the moment we actually, in fact, as children, early child, means as an infant, we listen to people first, then we started speaking. Then look at it, interactive listening. Learner listens to ideas, talks in a group, and respond to people. This is how language develops. And let me remind you what Vygotsky, Brunner, everyone has said. Learning is a social act. Language learning is completely social act. You can't learn a language without a text, without other person talking to you. Listen to present role plays in group or in a situation. We will see that how a role play can be generated. Listen to presentations and speeches. Of course, you are listening very carefully, like radio news or television news. Nowadays, radio has become completely probably redundant, but it helps also still. Radio is there, FM radio is there. How a teacher can draw attention of the learners to various ways of listening. We have seen that listening for gist, listening for details, listening to just make extrapolate, respond critically, analytical listening. So, many things might happen. So, I am going to ask you learners to do a task. The task will be interesting. Listen to the text of 5 sentences I will read out to you, listen to it twice and then recreate the text that you have listened to, create the text nearer to the one you have listened to, not necessarily the one exact text. So, how we are going to do it? Let us see. I am going to read out. You may close your eyes and listen to it 2 times. I am going to twice. Okay. Here is the text. The text will be shown to you later. Okay. Now you are not seeing it. Here is the text. Kite flying is an integral part of Independence Day celebrations and during the months of July and August in India. Sometimes this otherwise innocuous activity can be hazardous, even fatal at times. The widespread use of metal coated manja, being a good conductor of electricity, poses a serious danger not only to the person flying the kite, but also a risk to the electricity supply in an area. Fine. I am reading out again, second time. Kite flying is an integral part of the Independence Day celebrations and during the months of July and August in India. Sometimes this otherwise innocuous activity can be hazardous, even fatal at times. The widespread use of metal coated manja, being a good conductor of electricity, poses a great danger not only to the person flying the kite, but also a risk to the electricity supply in an area. Okay, I will stop it there. Take 2 minutes to recreate it. Fine participants, here is the text for you. Let me read out the third time. How far you are nearer to the text. Kite flying is an integral part of the Independence Day celebrations and during the months of July and August in India. Sometimes this otherwise innocuous activity can be hazardous, even fatal at times. The widespread use of metal coated manja, being a good conductor of electricity, poses a great danger not only to the person flying the kite, but also a risk to the electricity supply in an area. Check it how far you are nearer. If you have made meaning, brought the meaning of all these sentences conveyed, I will be more than happy. You try again otherwise. Okay. I am a teacher, classroom teacher. How will I promote listening in the classroom? How did you do this activity? Did you listen to individual sounds or words than sentences, or did you listen to the idea and followed the messages or the story, the kite flying? Did you recreate the whole idea or message or part of it? What made you recall or be able to recreate the whole idea of the text? What made you not able to create the text nearer to the one I read out? I am leaving to you learners, participants. So, I would be happy if you have listened to the idea and recreated it. That is what fluency. Listening to the means capturing the key words. Look at the text again. Kite flying, Independence Day, July, August, innocuous, hazardous, widespread, metal coated manja, many more things. So, this is how we listen to. So, not necessarily each and every word. So, listen to make meaning, listen for meaning. So, we listen to meaning and make meaning out of what we listen to. We also notice the key words and salient features. Salience means what is the difference, innocuous activity, hazardous. These are all the new words you are getting to know. Each subject content has its own specifications. We call it a register based language teaching, language learning. Science has science register, social science has social science register, mathematics has it. So, the way the language is used differs. Political science register. Why history is said most of the sentences in past. India was colonized. Second World War, Germany assaulted. So, how we are doing it? Suppose when cricket, it is very interesting, cricket commentary is said when the person runs faster, different kind of time is used, tense is used. Then when the person does an action slowly, different kind of things is used. How is that? Makes sense. Suppose the command, you will say that he is going to catch, come on, he moves faster, something like that, the commentary goes on. Then we say, oh, he is moving, he is slowly taking the bat to hit the ball. So, these are all registers used for each subject. Then listening across the curriculum requires subject specific strategies for each science. I said science is descriptive, empirically evidence based. Social science is a kind of reporting thing, in science also reporting, and art is descriptive, language, creative literature, poetry has different language. So, we should be able to enable learners to listen to all kinds of things. So, here are some tasks for you. Then before I summarize, let me give the task, then summarize it. Listen to the radio news and answer, there is a mistake there, answer the following. You may note down as you listen to the news. What is that? Who was the news? Listen to the news completely, then answer. Who was the news reader? What was the first headline news? What was the sports news in the news bulletin? How was the headlines news item expanded in the detailed news later? For example, let us pick up the first one. Prime Minister inaugurated today, and coronavirus has affected, let us say, 500 people or whatever. Then how it happened, they explain it. How did the news reader closed the news? Sometimes they say that's all today's news, and in good old days, even today, this is All India Radio giving you the news in between. This is All India Radio, this is 7 o'clock news, 7:30 news in the morning, I am so and so reading out the news. And when they close that, come on, that's all the news, and let's meet in the next bulletin, something like that, they say it. So, look at that pragmatic use of language there. Some more task. Take a text from social science or science, read it aloud to yourself, then jot down, note down whatever you remember from your listening of your reading, your own reading. Of course, your understanding of reading will be there. Read the text again, compare with whatever you have noted, all the keywords. Notice what else you have noted or left out. This is what. Look at it, another task. Design 2 listening activities, one for social science, another for science, based on the concept in the subjects. It may be Second World War, First World War, or whatever, French Revolution, or First War of Indian Independence, Mahatma Gandhi, and the partition of India. In the same way, science, photosynthesis to anything, based on the subjects. Provide an input for listening. So, it is not that just, so when you design an activity, give one input. What is that input? It may be text being read out, or audio, radio, audio or visual. Then set an engaging task. It may be multiple choice questions, it may be even true or false questions, or it may be recreating the text read out. Tell them what is expected of them. So, when we design a task in the classroom, follow these strategies. It is not that come on, listen to it, then said that, but you should really give the task beforehand. This would call it in task based language learning, pre-task, pre-doing the activity task, then while doing the task, and post-task. There must be 3 divisions in all your tasks, whether it is reading, listening, speaking, writing, grammar, what else and what not. But here give an input, then describe it, what is expected of them, then go ahead to tell them you have to have 7 minutes, 10 minutes, like kind of thing. Now, participants, we have discussed many things. We discussed how the strategies for listening can be promoted in the classroom, adopted in the classroom, so that learners can improve their listening, and of course, various kinds of listening: passive, marginal, attentive listening, responsive listening, listening for specific information, appreciative listening, creative listening, analytical listening, listening for gist, and listening for details. Then how how to create a schema through various ways, brainstorming, mind mapping, discussion, gaming, guiding questions, picture, diagram, kind of skimming, kind of reading. Then we also have to be making learners understand, achieve both fluency and accuracy. Of course, meaning making is more important than going from bottom up approach of each listening to each word. Then we have seen some dictation activities. Any kind of activity is fine, but it is up to the teacher to make it effective. I may use social science textbooks for an English language classroom as a listening text. I may use class 8th textbook in class 7 or class 7 textbook in class 8th, but what kind of task I am testing. I forgot to tell you one thing, the think aloud protocol activity which is there again, we have to really make learners speak as they do. Think aloud protocol is a task in which suppose I will say that I am sitting, I am speaking to participants, there is this, I am doing this. So, the same way here as they do, they have to speak out, that is what. And there are lots of images available in the newspapers, magazines, you can make use of them as you prefer, but your task has pre-task, while task, post task. So that teachers, prospective teachers, listening is an important activity in our lifetime, not only for academic classroom purposes, in real life, because people tend not to listen. And there is something called some etiquettes, like someone speaks, okay, let me wait for a while, listen to it, then reply, unless otherwise it is something kind of quarrel where everybody speaks against the other. That is not the thing, and having patience is very important thing in life as you listen to. So, let me stop it. Participants, engage learners in as many as listening activities, and we will meet you in next theme. Till then, take care.